Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday, the 2nd of September 2025. So futures flat as silver soars to 11-year high. About time. The bar to derail a Fed rate cut on September. The 17th appears high. So there's obviously trying to find some way of the Fed not having to cut. And this news item also, US appeals court deems Trump tariffs as illegal as well. So again, another interesting article, but there's not much news around at the moment because obviously the US was closed yesterday. We've got core CPI flash estimates today. There's an estimate and then there's a year-on-year flash estimate. Manufacturing, and Trump is going to be speaking at 7 p.m. Right, let's have a look at the markets for yesterday. A very quiet day because of the Labor Day celebrations in the US. All markets were closed, but the metals markets were certainly pumped higher on the futures markets. We'll look at those later, but first let's kick off, have a whistle-stop tour and have a look at the US markets and kick off with the Dow. So in the Dow yesterday, just the futures market only. You can see prices tried to move higher, but they didn't. They were priced to the downside, and overnight prices are sideways there. It's the first red bar we've seen for a while in the Dow in the daily chart, but prices look okay overnight. There is uncertainty around at the moment, which is why the metals prices have moved higher. There you can see we've got an all-time high of 45762. And in the 30-minute chart, obviously a simulated market yesterday trying to forecast what the cash market would have done. And according to this bar here, the market would have moved higher and then obviously just traded sideways, as you can see there. The low for yesterday is going to be important, and also the 200 MA as well, which the market is just trying to get above, but at the moment is struggling with it there. Let's have a quick trip across the pond and have a look at the German DAX. So in the DAX, the market sideways, inside bar for yesterday. The market has crossed back to the upside there, but overnight prices have run into trouble at the 50 EMA in the daily chart. And in the 30-minute chart, you can see that there where the selling came in and the market now sideways overnight. But yesterday, very choppy session, which you'll see later when we look at the 2-minute chart. Price is stuck in a sideways range for most of the trading session there. And in the S&P, another inside bar. You can see that there. Prices are supported overnight as well. And in the 30-minute chart, again, you can see the futures markets, electronic market moving higher. Again, you've got that spike there to the upside, which would have been, again, simulating what would have happened in the cash market then moving to the downside. Meanwhile, in the UK, the market stuck in a sideways range, inside bar for yesterday. Prices need to get back above the 20 bar and the 5 bar moving average in order to move higher. But as you see from the 30-minute chart, very choppy session there yesterday. Prices just stuck in a sideways range, bit of a move overnight. But what's going to be important is to stay above yesterday's low and also the close there, which is already being tested to the left there. So not a lot in the markets as far as stocks are concerned. But let's have a quick look at the US dollar. And in the US dollar, this moving back to the upside. Maybe the headline where they're trying to derail the cut in interest rates on the 17th of September is supporting the dollar. A very unusual thing to see there, but the market's stuck in a sideways move, trying to hold at the support to the left there as well. So it may be a case of just some limit orders there waiting to be picked up. Let's have a look at the metals for yesterday. And starting with silver, we have a new all-time high, I wish, an 11-year high at 40.83. And prices are still moving higher there. We've got an increase in volume as well. The momentum's kicked back to the upside. Is it silver's time after years and years? The very first trade I ever did in the markets was back in 1991, and I actually bought some July silver call options on the COMEX, and it was trading at $5 per ounce, and these were 550 calls. So we're going back a long way. You can see how the price has been suppressed for all this time, and of course going down to $13 an ounce during COVID, when the price was absolutely decimated by the bankers. So silver could be on the cusp of having its day, and we could see the $50 being broken, not necessarily this week, but once you get the momentum behind the silver price, it can move sharply higher. But if you've been around the silver market for long enough, you've also got that cautious optimism in the back of your mind where you think, well, yeah, okay, it's going, but as I've always said, unless it breaks 50, holds above 50, and then can go to 60, then I'll start to be more comfortable about this being an established new bull market. But certainly positives, a lot of positives here. Friday failed with the smackdown, and yesterday this move, according to Clive Thompson, is because Europe has a lot of uncertainties about America, and we've seen that with the tariff situation as well. So when gold, which we can, let's just have a look at the 30-minute. You can see yesterday moving sharply to the upside in the pre-market from Monday, and then just trading sideways and holding nicely. No smackdown there yesterday. And then gold, of course, also making a new all-time high. So when you've got that uncertainty, you're now seeing both the gold and silver market move to the upside there. So 30-minute of gold, a spike up in Asia, and still looking very positive there. Like I say, I'm still sort of optimistically cautious about the current move in the metals, but, well, not so much gold, because you can see what's happening, with the geopolitical situation. I also saw an article this morning where Europe now are talking about sending troops to Ukraine, which obviously includes the UK, in order to support the US. Well, that's going to go down well, isn't it? So much for peace talks. They're not going to happen. I said that at the time, because the elite love wars. That's how they make their money. Right, let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio. Very interesting picture here. As you can see, the market has gapped lower. When the market gaps lower, it tends to come back and fill this, which means that if silver holds at this level, then gold has to accelerate faster in price than silver. If not, then silver will drop against gold, and that gap will then get filled. So it's unusual not to see a gap getting filled. This is a big gap. So again, just keep that in the back of your mind. Right, let's have a quick look at the DAX 2-minute chart from yesterday, which was very choppy. So yesterday morning, the futures market, nice and smooth, but as soon as we got to the opening salvo in the cash market, of course, prices then just traded sideways. As you can see, no surprise, up to the R1, found resistance, and then the selling came into the market. We then had a sell signal, which will appear anytime now. There it is. But this wasn't filled because the stop was hit before the entry price. The market then put in a potential buy signal, but the problem is we've already got selling in this area, and the market then reversed off this and then put in a sell signal. And note, we've got support to the left, and then the market goes down, hits the target, hits the BRN, and then the market reverses straight off this. And this is what it was like. There's another failed signal, another loss coming up in just a moment as the market put in another potential buy. But the tone was already set, wasn't it? You can see the market's already in a range, very quiet, and then down we go. And I'm just going to fast forward all the way through to the afternoon because it was quiet, it was choppy, and the market just trading there in a range, and it becomes even more quiet, as you'll see in just a moment, but does break again, as you can see there, moving down, but then moving back. So not a lot to report there. If we have a look at the overnight, the market is currently trading below the close, sitting at the DP at the moment. It's got to hold if it's got any chance of getting back through all of these averages, the 20, the 50 EMA, the 200, and the high and R1. So not doing a lot at the moment, very, very quiet. So looking for some sort of news there to move it. Right, that will do it for this one. Let's see if the momentum can be maintained in the metals. Like I say, that gap in the gold-silver ratio is the only concern there. But that can be filled if the gold price actually accelerates faster than the silver. Right, that's it for this one. Have a great day, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.